It's a beautiful Saturday and the games are back, and we were on an international break, so we saw our Chipolopolo boys playing two friendly games where they managed to lose one and managed to win one. But anyway, that's a story as we go on the show. This is Off the Pitch, the show that comes your way. That's every Saturday at 9:30 hours. We apologize for starting a bit late, but I'm your host, Amos, aka Amore, and I'm not alone on set. I'm joined by one Augustine. Augustine, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Amos. It's always a pleasure to be here. We return all the glory and honor to the Most High God. And good morning to our viewers out there.
It's a big Saturday for Augustine, and Augustine, happy birthday. I have to say this, and I know a lot of us. It's a big Saturday for Augustine. I would say it's a special Saturday because it's his birthday. Any expectations, Mr. Augustine?
I think, firstly, I think it's thanks to God for the gift of life and good health. We are here not by power, nor by mighty, but only by His grace. And it's happy birthday to me, and I think it's just about family, friends, and football. Likewise, big games today at Sunset Stadium, and I just hope they deliver the best birthday present. Yeah, I think credit goes to my parents. I think Fanuel Mwanza and Ruth. Fanuel is no more, but Ruth is still around. For giving birth to me and raising me. I'm number 5 in a family of 6.
Raising you to be the man that you are today.
Yes, exactly.
Now it's a blessing to have you, Augustine, and we pray that more life shall be added unto your life. But anyway, this show is brought to you courtesy of Big Stakers, yes, and always know that bet big on Big Stakers, and once you get your registration, you get a lot of bonuses there, and I'll give those as we just take this short break.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, media news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In Forgotten Stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to war.
Hallelujah. And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time.
My name is Christopher Adam. Continue watching Off the Pitch on Camnet TV.
A disappointing run that we had over the past weekend, where we saw both our Chipolopolo girls failing to give us the positive result, but we saw the under-20 taking it into a second leg, and it ended in a goalless draw. But that meant that they were eliminated. But Augustine, it's a result that you anticipated and said it like, okay, for us to get a result there, it will be a bit difficult.
Yeah, I think it was always going to be tough looking at the fact that we failed to beat Congo at home. It's always an advantage in these qualifiers when you take your home games and you get maximum points. A good example is the Copa Bule. So after missing out on 3 editions of the Africa Cup of Nations, they have qualified on the back of a very, very good home record. You look at what they did during these qualifiers. They won 3 at home and sorry, and then they drew away from home. So the young Copa Queens, they needed a result here in Zambia, and it would have been best if we would have gone with a lead into Congo after the performance at Nkoroma Stadium. And you could see that there was nothing very much special about the Congolese. Even in the second leg, I think it was all about the nerves. I think our players were not psyched very well. I think we cannot blame, basically put the entire blame on the technical bench, because they had little time to prepare the girls. Remember, before even the first ball was kicked, we talked about how poor the preparations were, because we had just entered camp just a few weeks before we played Congo. And if you see the last time these girls had regrouped was a very, very long time. So it was always going to be difficult. But I think it's going to be a very good learning curve for the young girls, because one thing that we have to have confidence in, Amos, is that we use exactly under 20 girls. There was no age cheating. You could see they are very, very young girls, and you would see that there's a future if they can try and pick lessons from this. It's a process going forward. It's going to be very, very difficult. Yes, it's hard to check. We've missed out on an opportunity to participate at the World Cup, having had the previous test with the Copa Queens proper. So you would have wanted these girls to progress and go and play at the FIFA World Cup, but it wasn't to be. But I think positives are that this is a young group, and they will learn and get better. Once they get back into a league, they work their way into their main teams in the league. It will be bonus for them to try and get a lot of game time. And other qualifiers will coming around the corner, and we will do a little bit better, and we will maximize our home advantage going forward.
Anyway, hard luck to the under-20 Chipolopolo, for they were booted out after a goalless draw against the DR Congo, and that was a result that was determined by aggregate, and we drew here at home. So the DR Congo progresses, and they will face Burundi, that knocked out South Africa. That's in the second leg. So if we had progressed, we were going to face either Burundi and South Africa. But so it's DR Congo versus South Africa. That's in the second round of the Under-20 World Cup qualifiers. But let's take a look again at the disappointing result, Augustine, that we saw on a Sunday, where our Copa Queens failed to defend the COSAFA Cup. And let's go there.
Yeah, I think a lapse in concentration towards the very end. After, I think we probably got too excited after getting that equalizer. We could have kept guard. I think the most dangerous time in football is when you're just from scoring. That's very, very dangerous, because you become a little bit complacent, you lose your shape. And you saw that Malawi capitalized that and they punished us. Yeah. I think what you could see Malawi from the get-go, they had a very clear game plan. They were not going to dominate Zambia on the park in terms of possession. So what they did is that they relied on the fast-paced strikers. They kept the ball very well in midfield, quick passes. Then they released their strikers. They got the goal and they sat back. They were in a very, very good defensive shape, and we were lacking ideas many times when we were with the ball, especially in the final third. We couldn't unlock them. We got fortunate because Malawi scored the second. It was disallowed. Then we won a penalty which we scored from. So you could see that it was a cagey encounter, but probably Malawi were the better side because they controlled the game with possession and without possession, so which gave them a very, very huge advantage. And when you look at the Copa Queens, there are a lot of lessons that we can draw from this performance, and a lot of confidence going forward. You look at a couple of players that were not present at the tournament. Oh yeah, all of our professional stars were not available. Our two top scorers in the league, in Ochumba Oseke and Simama Pepa, they were not part of this team. So it gives us a little bit of confidence to see that we have got enough strength and depth in the team. yes, we may think we wanted to defend this title, but I think congratulations to Malawi for winning it for the first time. They feel how we felt last year, this time. But now you would see that what was going to be the benefit if we brought Barbara Banda, Rachel Kundalanji, and then win the COSAFA? What do we gain from that?
Yeah.
The question is that it's just another tournament which will not add in terms of us creating that
even competition,
and the strength and depth in the team. But you could see that even the one who was in charge of the team was Florence, and it wasn't Bruce. Bruce was just sitting back and just watching Florence take charge. So it gives everyone enough experience and exposure to try and understand the magnitude of international friendlies, international games, how to handle them. I think there are a lot of young girls who come up out of the COSAFA tournament with their head held high, knowing that they did their very, very best, and they have been exposed at this level. They will pick lessons and they will use them in the coming qualifiers.
We saw via Augustine coming into power when Malawi scored the second goal, which was disqualified. How would you rate the VAR performance so far and the people that were behind the VAR at the COSAFA Cup?
It was a trial looking at Southern Africa. We haven't had VAR. No league has got VAR, not even the PSL. So you could see that we are just in the learning phase. I think one thing that I've loved about COSAFA is that they keep on evolving. They keep on introducing new things, because we had a couple of coaches like Beauty, who is part of the COSAFA technical setup, which analyzes teams, provides data, and then that information will trickle down to these teams, and then it will help them going forward for their preparations. They have assigned coaches around this part of the region to try and analyze the teams in the tournament, and then give a report after that. So it will help in terms of improving our football here from our region. And you could see South Africa, they went with a local team as well, very, very young girls, and they never made it into the semi-finals. But what they did is that they gave chance to players who they feel probably might break into the South Africa proper, because it's always a gamble almost to try and give a young girl an opportunity probably in a qualifier and then they mess up. So it's good when we have got this kind of tournaments to try and build up confidence and momentum going into this qualifiers, so that you would know, is this one fit enough to play at this high level. So I think now Bruce Mape, together with the technical bench, will have to have put up a detailed report, analyze what we did in the COSAFA, who is ready to try and break into the Chipolopolo. I think one of the girls who has to be mentioned is Pauline Zulu of Lusaka Dynamos. She went and partnered Lushomo Mwemba at the heart of defense, and she was very, very brilliant. You could see her progress, the way she's progressed down the years. Even in, I think, Judith Soko. We've got the Frida Kawe, who scored the hat-trick. So you can see there are a lot of young girls in this team that have gotten this opportunity. Comfort Selemani is another one who scored in that friendly before we went to the World Cup at Woodland Stadium, and she got this big stage. She hasn't had a lot of chances at the Chipolopolo proper, but you could see that this has given her that much needed confidence. Letitia Lungu is another one in goal for Zesco United. I think credit must be given to the coaches for trying taking a different route, not calling the professional players, so that we can expose the others.
And we heard what Coach Florence said, Augustine, by saying she is now discovered that there is a lot of competition going into now the main team, and it's good and it's healthy for competition. And big ups to Lucio Mwemba, Esther Siamfuko, and Evelyn Susan Katongo for making it into the COSAFA team of the tournament, which was selected at the tournament. But let's take a look, Augustine. Now let's switch our attention maybe to the friendly game that we played that was against Uganda, where we managed to Palangasheto beat Uganda by 3-0. Patson Daka and Fashion Sakala on the scoreboard. And maybe just a quick one, the starting 10, we had Francis Mwansa, Rodrick Kawe, Gordon Mafuenta, Zephania Piri, Dominic Chanda, Stopila Sunzu, Emmanuel Banda, Edward Shirufia, Patson Daka, Kings Kangwa, and Fashion Sakala. This was the starting 11, Augustine.
Yeah, so you could see that from the game, the team that had played Egypt, Zephania Piri replaced Benedict Chepesha at right back. Then in central midfield you have Gordon Mafuenta, who replaced Kelvin Kapumbu, who was not fit enough to play in the game against Uganda. Then we had Edward Chirufya, who replaced the captain Luambo Msonda. And you could see that they brought a different dimension to the game. This is what we want to see, to try and create healthy competition in all areas. Now, I think we will be more comfortable in fullback areas. Looking at the performance of Zephaniah Piri, he did put up a very, very good performance against Uganda in his debut for the national team, and you would see that the performance for Benedict Chepeshi lately have been improving. He had an assist in our away game against Comoros, so you could see that at least now we have got healthy competition in these areas. Dominic Chanda with Stopera Sunzu, they almost kept a clean sheet against Egypt until had done towards the very end of that encounter. But this game against Uganda, they defended the box very well, and that gives us enough confidence to realize that even without Frankie Musonda, we still have players that will step in and do the job. Francis Mwansa in goal was very, very brilliant. He's comfortable in possession, and this is a goalkeeper that who has got huge potential. But one thing with our Zambian players is that lack of consistency. That's the biggest problem. We need to try and see these boys be more consistent with their performance. You remember he had a very, very good tournament at Tekosafa, and you see we are just from talking about Tekosafa, it exposes a lot of talent. So we just need to try and find a way how we select players going to this Tekosafa tournament to try and discover other talents. Going into midfield, Mafuente, he was decent. I think it was very huge for him to start in central midfield. He hasn't started for the Chipolopolo proper. You remember he was part of that under-20 team in 2018-2017, which won the Kosafa Cup at Nkoloma Stadium. And you would see now he's grown into this player now who is breaking into the thoughts of Avram Grant. Going up top, we had Edward Chirufya. He always offers a different dimension, Edward. He's not always going to hug the touchline. He comes inside, he's very, very skillful, he's quick, he has got an eye for goal, and he gave a good account for himself. And you could see towards the second half, Avram Grant made a lot of changes, brought in Cletus Chamachota. People were crying when that's not playing. A chance was given, Kelvin Kapumbu, Kampamba Mwanga, another one who got a chance. And you could see that they took their chance because they started playing good flowing football. And I think for Avram Grant, what he's doing with Patson Daka, I think we need to give credit to the big man. He's realized that Patson Daka is not getting a lot of game time in Leicester City. So when Patson Daka comes down here for national assignment, you would see that he's rarely substituted because the coach wants to get him up to speed. He wants to build this confidence, because you cannot destroy his confidence even here back home when Leicester are destroying his confidence up there. And you could see that he's proving them wrong. When he comes to the international stage, he performs. Yes. So I think it's not about issue of performance at Leicester. I think it's just something bigger than performances, to be honest. I think
something behind the curtains.
Yeah, there's just something bigger than performances why Patson Daka is not playing at Leicester City. If you look at the performance of Kalechi Iheanacho in the last 26 games, he scored about 2 goals. Jimmy Vardy scored about 5 goals. I think you wonder why is Patson Daka not given a fair chance like these other guys. But I think we are doing very well in terms of managing him, building his confidence as we approach the Africa Cup of Nations. And you could see that this team has created the chemistry and very, very good relationship. Patson Daka and the Fashion Sakala look and play ball on their day. They link up very well when we're attacking. And what Avram Grant has brought to this team is that defensively, as a unit, we are very, very solid. We are not giving a lot of spaces for oppositions to exploit. We defend in very, very good numbers. To press, when to drop off, when to go tight. I think that's very, very good, and it's a good sign that going forward into this Africa Cup of Nations, probably we will go beyond the quarterfinal, the round of 16, maybe quarterfinals and semi-finals. And this was an opportunity for us to have a few of teams from East Africa. Uganda, very, very close to Tanzania. We played them, we beat them, so we know what to expect against Tanzania.
So we are playing our first game, Augustine. Our next game is sure to be played. That's in January, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe unless otherwise. But hopefully, Avram Grant will have a variety of players to pick from, because you heard what Zephaniah Piri said after his performance on this friendly, to say his target is to be at the AFCON and perform wonders, and Magic's there, but hopefully he will be able to make it. Right about now, we'll just take a very short break as we get back and take a look at some, we've got a call. Let's just speak that call. Hello?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Maite. How are you, Chunguru?
Good morning, Mr. Skombe.
Hello?
I think we've lost.
I think we've lost Mr. Skombe. That's Mr. Skombe. They are trying to call us and give us his views in terms of what we've discussed so far. But maybe he might call back. Before we go on a short break, Augustine, we saw an early kickoff yesterday, not an early kickoff, or maybe an early kickoff to the MTN Super League, where we saw Green Buffaloes hosting Green Eagles at the Edwin Imboela, and the game was also live, where Green Buffaloes managed to beat Green Eagles by 2-0.
I think it's been a very good week in terms of Zambian football and the league at large. Looking at the fact that Betway has partnered with the Football Association of Zambia in sponsoring our league, you could see now they've pumped in about 10 million in the league. That's very huge money, and there are a lot of things that they have structured in terms of to try and improve our league. I think one thing is that the coaches will be given enough data. There will be some package which will come about with regards to the coaches, where they will be going to try and get information such as which player has made the most passes in the league, who has covered the most distance. So there will be that data which will be, I think, available to these coaches. It's more like what Opta does in Europe in terms of compiling data. I think this will be done in our league. It will be easy to try and use this information in terms of preparation and planning. When you are facing an opposition, you try and get that database. Even signing of players, it will help, because you will have an idea of someone who you want to sign, a particular player. Probably, I think even the selection of the national team, if Abraham Grant wants someone who makes a lot of complete passes, he will try and look at that data, and then it will help them in terms of making those selections. I think that was a very, very good move to try and now delink the league from the association into standards.
Bit by bit, it's coming to...
And it will bring a lot of money into our football. So I think that was very, very positive heading into the encounter against the Green Eagles. Green Eagles, Alex Namazawa was given a 3-match ultimatum. The first one was a 2-1 win against Forest Rangers, and then they had this big one against the Green Buffaloes at Edwin Imboela Stadium. Remember, Green Buffaloes fresh from beating Power Dynamos by 3-1, and they took the lead through George Ngoma, and who scored a lot of goals for them last season. He was one of their exciting players in the first part of the season. Then the young Golden Mashata, who has been carrying the hopes of GBFC practically on his shoulders ever since the departure of Friday Sam to Maritzburg United. You could see that this boy Golden Mashata is been growing, and they played very well yesterday together with Hali Miranzi Jr. Created a lot of problems for Green Eagles. Green Eagles never looked like they were going to score yesterday. They were played off the park by GBFC. This will give Masao Sotembo and these charges huge confidence. 3 points and a clean sheet. That's very positive for GBFC.
Let's look how tight the league. And I think we've got a call.
Hello.
I'm assuming we are calling Uncle Rapson right now. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Rapson.
Yeah, how is it?
Well, okay.
Okay. Great. I'm following the program very closely.
Yeah.
Very good discussion.
Thank you.
You can, I was hoping you would first wish our lad here a very happy birthday and bring him his present.
I just remembered actually that it's the Augustine birthday. Let me give them a call, these guys. I was unable to be with you, but a very big happy birthday to you, Augustine.
Thank you very much, Mr. Skombe.
Yeah, coming to today's games, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Wow. The line keeps on.
Hello, Uncle Rapson.
I think we've lost him.
I don't know.
About to come to this
Coming to this
games,
afternoon's games, huh? But anyway, I'm sure we will still get hold of him. And today we've got some spicy games, Augustine. But looking at how the tables might change before maybe we look at some of the games that are being played today. We saw the game that was played, that's Green Buffaloes against Green Eagles. It's a tight call, Augustine. I think so far this is one of the tightest league that I've seen, like in terms of points, because we've got a lot of teams that we've seen teams playing 7 games each, but the way the numbers are in terms of points, I think it's 1 point behind. But let's look at some of the other games. We've got a double header that's today at the I don't even know, maybe Augustine, before we go there. Why taking a double header game at Sunset?
I think this game was scheduled to be played at Nkoloma Stadium, but there is a government function which is happening at Nkoloma Stadium. Hence, that's why the game has been moved to Sunset Stadium. There was no other venue that they could have gone to, because Heroes Stadium probably is under renovation, and together with Levi Mwanawasa Stadium, they've been closed. And if you look at Woodland Stadium, Ghana will be using it against Napsa Stars. So they had no other option but to try and go to Sunset Stadium. And if you look at the way our league does things, I think it's a shocker, because this weekend, just during the week, we saw pass that Dollar Hill has been pass fit for the Super League games, for Forest Rangers to play their home games at Dollar Hill. What does it have to take up to week 8 for that decision to be made? I think, to me, it's a shocker. These decisions have to be made at the start of the season, before even a ball is kicked. So you have disadvantaged Forest Rangers in their first games. Neutral. They could have been played at Dollar Hill, and probably the results would have been different. But why do you come to a decision in week 7? I think it's very, very disappointing, if you ask me. And it's something that we need to improve on going forward. And you did talk about the points tally, looking at the gaps. Yes, it's very, very fine margins. The gaps are very, very minimal. What does that tell you about our league? Probably we will immediately jump to say our league is competitive. Exactly. But to be honest, Amos, it's because most of the teams are average and inconsistent. That's why we have got this kind of scenario in the league. Why do I say so? We are always exposed when you go to continental football. Teams will be flying in our league, and then when they go to continental football, they are exposed, we are eliminated first round. So it's all about our teams being average, our players being average. Remember the times when Zesco United were not dominating, because they were getting top class players like David Odiambo, Jesse Jackson Were, Ben Adama Ba, Ayo Olwafemi, Cletus Chamachota, Kondani Mutongwa, Anthony Akum. So you could see these were the cream de la cream of the Zambian league. These are players who are playing for Kenya and the Chipolopolo proper. And then you look at Zanaco, they had similar quality of players, which were knocking on the Chipolopolo proper and coming from countries where they were playing good competitive football. But if you look at the scenario now, how many Zanaco players are even closer to the national team? You get the point.
Let's just pick this call. Hello? Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
How are you, and where are you calling us from?
I'm Juvenal calling you from Israel.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Very fine. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate.
How is the atmosphere outside?
Very big beating, eh?
I hope you haven't joined the celebration that side, sir. I'm saying, hope you haven't crossed borders and joined the. Yeah, exactly. That's good. That's good. And how is our team? How is our team doing that side?
Very much well.
Okay, we appreciate, sir. You can go ahead with your contribution.
My contributions are number one. I'm worried with the national team goalkeeper. I would appreciate Mr. Augustine to comment on the national team goalkeeper. What are we changing? This time around we have just a the other time once. The other time we seem to be comfortable in the goalkeeping department, especially as we are going to Afcon.
Oh yeah.
The second issue is, I don't know, I want you to comment on the story. We're just seeing it on the social media. What is the official position? Is it that there is marriage between Kalava and Fazi, and is the recognition that is being mentioned is a true reflection that Kalava has recognized Kalava? The other issue is the Amwara Ghana Football Club. We can't talk about the Super Division without talking about Ghana.
Ghana, yeah.
But you know what is happening with Ghana?
No,
We may need really that our administrators look at it and what is the solution? Because Ghana is known on the continent.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Lastly, you may also need to clarify something on the former coach with FAS. There is a lot of grapevine going on. What's the official position? If possible, I would request that even the FAS official is invited to comment and tell us the nation what is the official position.
no, we'll definitely try our level best to bring anyone from FASAT. They are able to clarify in terms of what's the status quo in terms of the former coach.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much for coming through.
I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
A quick one, Augustine.
Yeah, I'll pick it up from
the goalkeeping
top.
department.
Yeah, I think goalkeeping department is always a worry when you are constantly chopping and changing in the goalkeeping department. It doesn't give the defenders enough confidence because they do not know who will be in goal, who they'll be protecting. I think it gives them a lot of confidence and they will be consistent in their performances if they know who will be in goal. I think he's spot on. We've been chopping and changing goalkeepers during a very, very short space of time. I think you look at Alan Chiwe. He's been part of the national team. He was the one who was in goal at Chan. We've got Cyril Mwinya-Chiwe. He was part of the qualifiers. Tostan Savata, Lawrence Mulenga. Now we've got Francis Mwansa. And at some point we had Charles Kalumba being the goalkeeper at the Kosafa. So I think.
Let's speak. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Good morning. Sorry.
Good morning.
Oh, okay. Uncle Rapson, maybe before you comment on the games that are being played today, I think we're from having our caller from Chipata, the Eastern Province, where he was trying to get some information in terms of how we are changing goalkeepers. That's in the goalkeeping department. Maybe you can start from there. Is it healthy for our team going as we prepare for the Africa Cup of Nations?
Yes, it is. Because when you look at what the coaches are doing, for example, I'm not too sure. I didn't get your question quite clearly. But you're asking me to comment about the goalkeeping department and how we are.
Yes, like we've been reshuffling.
Okay, great. For me, it's not even an issue of reshuffling. It's an issue of building capacity in the continuation in that particular goalkeeping department. Number one, this goalkeeper that we used, former president, I think is now at the
GPFC
Mwanza. That goalkeeper, if you recall very well, he's been noticed as one of those with very good talent. But unfortunately, our local coaches have their own preferences, so they fail to see the talent in certain players. We end up exposing them when a different person has actually seen some potential there. For me, he accounted himself very well against Uganda, and it was a very, very good thing to do because now the biggest thing that Coach Abraham Grant is doing, he wants to build capacity that is going to carry to the AFCON. And you know, when you are going to play in a tournament like AFCON, you are not going to rely on one goalkeeper because of consistency. What if anything happens to him? At what point will you build confidence
In
the
another
other
keeper.
players that are going to step up and close that gap that is being left by one goalkeeper that you rely on? For me, I think it's a very good step in the right direction, and that particular program is not limited to the goalkeeping department. We saw how Zephania accounted for himself very, very well at that right back position. Of course, Augustine back in the studio there is going to smile. The comment I'm about to give. Benedict Chepeshi is one of the only local players that has featured for the national team when the national team has been infiltrated by foreign-based players. Meaning that right back position, we have confirmation that Benedict is able to account for himself very well and at a very high level. But here is a coach who says, locally, we also have Zephania. Let's give him a chance and see what he can do.
Yeah.
And the chance was given, and we saw how the boy accounted for himself very well, those assists in that particular game against Uganda. He goes into the midfield, does the same. People were crying for Cletus Chairman's time, his time came. He played and accounted for himself well. I think the coach's plan is something that requires everybody's support as we prepare for the AFCON.
Yeah. And then the other one, Uncle Rapson, maybe before, I know I'm cutting you short, you want to comment on the games. The man also talked a bit on Ghana's performance so far, because he said we can't talk of our league minus mentioning Ghana. It's a very big team, but he's somehow wanting to know the performance of late has been disappointing.
Well, we all know what Ghana is going through, and I think for me, number one, top on the agenda is the change of mindset from the technical bench. The technical bench has been changed, but if you ask me of my opinion, the problems are beyond the technical bench, and the only issue now is that football has been infiltrated by people who don't know how to manage football.
Exactly.
We have been infiltrated by people who want to join administrations of football leagues, but they are unable to make decisions.
And they have no passion.
The technical bench without adding quality to the players that you have in the team, and you are expecting different results. It's a very, very long process for Coach Ian to build a team, and I think with time he's progressing quite well, if you ask me, and come the next transfer window, we should be able to see Ghana maneuvering. There's quite some significant news that is flying around the windows about players that Ian is eyeing and the players that he wants to bring to Ghana.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think a very poor start to Ghana. But today we are facing NAFSA Stars, and NAFSA Stars is a team that has not beaten Ghana in open play from 2014.
Yeah.
So Ghana is getting into this game this afternoon with that confidence in the back of their minds that they only lost to NAFSA Stars via those penalty shootouts in the after game. And getting into this particular game this afternoon, we should be able to see a first victory, the first 3 points being collected by Ghana Football Club. The man from Chipata should comfortably hold back, sit back, and wait for the final whistle. He's going to smile at the end of the day.
Now you can go ahead with your contribution, Uncle Rapson now.
Well, very tough game this afternoon, Amon.
Yeah.
Very, very tough. I know I don't want to take much of your time. There could be other callers that are trying to call in.
Oh, yeah.
But I think interesting on the agenda is the same game that I've spoken about, which will be at Woodland Stadium. It will be definitely big race by a national division one, a national league game between City of Lusaka and Dumana Radiants, which is kicking off at 13 hours. So for me, I think all those, once I arrive, I will lead to Woodland Stadium to go and see what is happening there, to see how Coach Muhammad Fati has prepared City of Lusaka. Coming to the games that are being played at Sunset Stadium this afternoon, the early kickoff will see the Bankers hosting
Konkola Blades.
Konkola Blades. And Konkola Blades, the started the season on a very, very shaky note. A lot of draws and a very big bashing from NAFSA Stars that Coach Wetson Nyirenda suffered a couple of weeks ago. And he would want to recover from that particular shock they had. And for me, Konkola Blades is also trying to revamp and manage their stay in the Zambian Super League. So they are also trying to get one or two things done in their space. And for me, I am seeing a goalless draw in that particular game this afternoon. The second one, we will see Coach Oswald Mtaba he should have had a very, very short visit back to a home where he had stayed for a couple of floors on the Red Arrows. And now he's going to sit on the other side and face a coach in Chisimbewe who was his very, very collaborative partner at the Red Arrows. That game, I see it to be a very, very sneaky encounter, and it will not be very free-flowing because of the two managers having a very, very strong relationship in their styles of play. And I am seeing Red Arrows, of course, with a narrow victory there. They might walk away with 3 points with a 1-0 victory over Kwale Football Club.
No, thank you very much, Uncle Robson, for coming through. Hope to have you on set this coming Saturday. Battle of the Misare.
The game is back at Nakambala Stadium this afternoon, and I don't think Bria Wanderers coming out with anything from that area. Have a nice day, gentlemen, and we'll see you later in the afternoon as we catch up.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Uncle Robson.
Thank you so much, and have a nice day.
And maybe just another Augustine in terms of what Uncle Robson commented in terms of why we are reshuffling goalkeepers. I think we saw what happened to our ladies. Is it at the FIFA World Cup where we had the challenge. We had Hazel Nali not being part of the team, and then we saw when we had that red card, it was very difficult. So maybe that hopefully should help, because other goalkeepers never had the chance. But anyway, coming to today's games, Augustine, we've heard Uncle Robson has commented already. In a game that I was hoping, and I thought that he was going to have it a very big challenge to select who is going to win between Ghana and Napsa Stars. But let's start on a quick note, Augustine. Zanaco versus Konkola Blades, early kickoff at Sunset.
Early kickoff at Sunset Stadium. Zanaco, they have been decent. If you look at their start this season, they made a lot of changes in the transfer window. They brought in a lot of young talent. I think one exceptional talent was Dominic Kanda from.
I don't know. Let's speak this caller. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
Thank you. My name is Sam Onjogu.
Oh, okay.
Sam, how are you?
How are you, Mr. Augustine?
I'm good, thanks.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you at Sunset.
Yes. I want to find out about the Alexandria.
Yeah.
Is it playing today?
I think it's because he's a free agent. There are still some paperwork that are being worked on, but as the information that we have, we are not is not yet cleared. If you will be cleared on time, we will play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming through.
Okay.
That was some former top man of Kamanga Rangers.
Yeah, I've gotten my former teammate, I guess.
Yeah.
So Augustine, we are going through. We are looking at the first one, which is Zanaco versus Konkola Blades.
I think look at Konkola Blades. Do they have enough goals in their team? I don't think so. I think they brought back Mumanga, who was at Kansanshi last season. He didn't score a lot of goals, but his young brother Victor did it for Konkola Blades last season in the lower league. They have got Thomas Yorenda at the heart of midfield. They've signed Fred Sutra Shimenga. You provide them with a much needed width to try and attack Zanaco. It will be a close encounter. Probably it might end in a narrow victory for Zanaco or a draw.
Red Arrows Ngwazi, I would say it's a derby on its own.
Yeah, I think this derby is very, very tricky, very hard to call. We do not see a lot of goals in this game because you look at this season, Red Arrows have conceded only 4 goals. And Red Arrows have conceded only 3 goals this season. Ngwazi have conceded 4 goals. So these are the 2 meanest defense in the league. They will not have. They will not give away a lot this afternoon at Sunset Stadium. Red Arrows moved venue to Sunset. The last time they moved venue and played their home game at Sunset Stadium, it was a 1-0 victory against Napsa. Probably it will be a narrow win for Arrows.
And we are seeing FC Muza hosting Mighty Mufulira Wanderers. That's at the Nakambala Stadium, Augustine.
Yeah, Muza, very, very controversial point they got last weekend against
the only unbeaten team, huh?
Yeah, I think it was very, very controversial. I think you could see even the tone of the Forest Rangers coach in Nkasho. They called the officiators at comedy. that was cartoon comedy, the kind of officiating you saw in Mazabok. I think Andrew Piri he's been scoring goals, especially from the penalty spot. And you would fancy Andrew and Regan Ngambi to try and lead the line for Musa and get them the goals, because now they've signed Conrad Luchanga. He's part of that Musa team. Mighty, do they have what it takes to get a result in Kampala? I do not think so. Their previous trip away from home was that beating away at Mutondo. So I do expect Musa to carry all 3 points in this encounter. And we've got, I think, Uncle Rapson. But anyway, I would also love you to touch the Napsa Stars, the Ghana versus Napsa Stars game, Augustine, which will be played today at Woodlands as well. That's at 15 hours. Big problems at Ghana Football Club. They've been struggling for goals. They cannot keep their back door closed. So I think during the international break, there was rumor that they're closing in on the signing of Adrian Chama. If they can bring Adrian Chama with his experience at the heart of defense, probably he will rectify the short-term problems from Ghana as they head into the January transfer window, try and rectify their major problems. I think the biggest problem is that there's no player who is standing out from Ghana. You look at Harrison Chisala, he's blowing hot and cold. David Kavala is not getting the goals that he got last season. I think they're coming up against the Napsa Stars, very smart Perry Mutapa. He will relish this occasion to try and get one over Ghana. Probably it might end in a draw with both teams use Woodland Stadium as their home. As their home. And we've got Forest Rangers Augustine hosting Trident. That's at the Dollar Hill. And we spoke of this on how they lost out on some points, maybe due to the fact that they were not playing at the Dollar Hill. Yeah, I think now they'll be playing at home. They will be frustrated. They went behind at Musa, then they scored those 2 quick goals, and then they gave the lead in the second half, but the goal was disallowed. Obet Masumbuko scored towards the very end in that game against Musa. It was disallowed, but they will try and get that pen into the Trident team, who have got a new coach in Albert Kachinga and physical trainer Joseph Musonda, assisted by Aaron Madisawa. So it's going to be interesting to see how Trident respond under Kachinga, because one thing Albert Kachinga does is that he will make them solid. He will make them hard to break, so that they can build from there. If you do not concede, you do not lose goals. That's his message every time when he goes to a football club. And coming up against Forest Rangers, Lubambo Moela needs to be showing why he's being selected by Abraham Grant. He needs to rediscover his scoring form, which saw him break into the Chipolopolo proper. And I do fancy Lazarus Chishimba to turn up and destroy Trident, probably 2-0 to Forest Rangers. Tomorrow we've got some exciting games where we are seeing Kansashi Dynamos hosting Zesco United, and Kawe Warriors will be hosting Power Dynamos. Zesco United away at Kansanshi. The game will be played in Chingola because Kansanshi Dynamos Independence Stadium is under renovation. It has been for over a year now. I think this has disadvantaged Kansanshi very hugely. They are hosting the log leaders in Zesco United. They have had Kelvin Kambamba Mwanga playing very good football. He's on song, and if Kelvin Kambamba can provide the magic here, I think they will prove to be now very strong for Kansanshi Dynamos, who look like they do not have enough scorers in their team, and I do fancy Zesco United to win this one. Kawe Warriors, Augustine. Kawe Warriors, tricky encounter for Power Dynamos. They got beat on their last away trip in Lusaka by GBFC 3-1. Now they are visiting Kabwe. They are playing a Kawe Warriors team under Numba Mamba who have flattered to deceive a bit. They got some good results. I think one of them was when they were 2-0 down against the mighty Flair Wanderers. They managed to pick them back and get it to 2-2. And I do think this might just be a draw. Looking at the way the two teams are set up, the way Power Dynamos would play a very cautious game away in Kawe, I think this will be a 1-1 draw, a scoreless draw. We can't shun away from the fact that Elijah wanted us to talk about Manchester United. He's saying he wants it to be sold and they sell him as well. But then don't forget that these are all exciting games that are on Bet. That's here, and you are allowed to you're free to download that. You go on our website, that's Big Stakers, and you find the odds are good, like we said last week, and we are here to give you nothing but a good odds in terms of betting. And once you continue betting, we give royalty to those who bet every week. That's
at 10 kwacha, or you bet for 10 times using 10 kwacha, or you will be given royalty to say, okay, bet again. That's how big stakers are big. So all these games that we've spoken about, that's the local games, are there on big stakers, and the odds are very, 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 very tempting. And coming to the EPL, Augustine, we've got, I think for me, it's a big Saturday today, because we've got a lot of big teams playing today. We've got the likes of Liverpool. And the early kickoff, it's at 13:30, Augustine, where we have Liverpool hosting Everton.
Merseyside derby. Yeah, I do not see how Everton can go to Anfield and get something out of there. Look at, yes, they got a very big win against Bournemouth before the international break, which gave Sean Dyche huge confidence. I think McNeil was one of the scorers. He needed that goal because he was very, very low on confidence. Abdoulaye Doucouré, probably their most outstanding player. He saved them last season from the jaws of relegation. This time around, he's stepping up again. They lost Alex Iwobi. They lost that creativity, that drive, and that power play. So I think you would struggle to see how Everton can match up with this Liverpool team, which look very, very good. Look at their central midfield with Mark Alistair in that central midfield, together with Szoboszlai, Dominic Szoboszlai, the Hungarian. And the good part is that these two midfielders both played with very own Enoch Mwepu, one at Red Bull Salzburg and one at Brighton. So I think I do fancy Liverpool, looking at their firepower going up front. They've got 5 good attacking players, lethal: Diego Jota, Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunez. They've got Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Salah. So you could see that Klopp can start 3 and keep 2 on the bench to try and change the game for him. Do Everton have that luxury? No, they only have Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So I think 3-0 to Liverpool.
And due to time, some of the games that are being played today, that's at 16 hours. I've got Bournemouth hosting Wolves, Brentford hosting Burnley, and Manchester City hosting Brighton. Another exciting game to watch. And will Pep Guardiola want to lose 3 games in a row? We'll see about that today. And we've got Newcastle hosting Crystal Palace, Forest Rangers hosting Luton, and it's one of the big games as well today. Chelsea hosting Arsenal, and lastly Sheffield United hosting Manchester United. But just a quick comment, Augustine, on the Chelsea-Arsenal game.
Chelsea back-to-back victories, and Mauricio Pochettino against Fulham and against Burnley. They're coming up against an Arsenal side who feel like they have closed that gap between them and Manchester City. Because if I take you back to last season, the gap between Man City and Arsenal was 5 points for City to win the league. And what happened when these two met last season? Arsenal lost all the 6 points. City got 6 points. So this time around, Arsenal have got 3, and they are yet to go to Etihad. But it gives them confidence going into this London derby. The previous game they played at Stamford Bridge, Gabriel Paulista was the goal scorer, and Arsenal emerged victorious.
And some of the comments that on Facebook, we have Kawe Reports watching from the beautiful town of Kawe, and we've got the Everlex Mark who is saying following, and we've got Uncle Mr. Rapson Sikombe saying the story of away goals must be done away with in modern football. Our girls missed out because of the 2-2 draw in Lusaka. Thanks to everyone who participated. That's on our Facebook page, Camnet TV, and those who managed to call us and be able to comment. Just your final closing remarks, Augustine, as we come to the end of the show.
Thank you very much, Amos. A big thanks to the entire production team for making this possible, and a big thanks to all the viewers out there for tuning in. We always appreciate your effort and your support, and thank you for the birthday wishes. I think I'm very much humbled, and I just pray that we all trek to the nearest stadium and support Bola Yapazedi. It's us to grow our game. Thank you very much, and see you next week.
And this is where we've come to the end of the show. Don't forget, bet with big stakers for you. We've got good odds there. The more you bet, the higher the chances of you winning, and the more chances you have of having that royalty given to you. I've been your host, Amos, aka Amore, and on behalf of the whole entire production team, not forgetting Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilwa for giving us this platform to give you nothing but the best in terms of sports. But stay glued for Amazing Katamanda is coming on your screens with the weekly gospel show. I'm out. Don't forget, Camnet TV, we're not just another channel. Bye-bye.